Good afternoon, Upper School, and welcome to your fourth virtual assembly. I hope you're all very safe and well today and that you've had a really productive week. Today's assembly will be taken by Mr. Foster. So before I do pass over to him, I just wanted to wish you all a very, very enjoyable bank holiday weekend as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of VE Day.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hetherington. So good morning, Upper School. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to talk to you today. Slightly strange to be doing it sat at home in my living room, but nonetheless, it's nice to be able to reach out to you. So first things first, I hope you're all well. I hope you're taking good care of yourselves and your families, and you're not getting too bored. I'm sure you've all got plenty to be getting on with. So in today's assembly, we're going to go through a number of different things. So we're going to look at Seneca and your online learning. We're going to talk a bit about some destination data, a few reminders about staying in touch, an update on Envision. Just want to chuck my own words in about the BBC Young Reporter thing, and then we're going to talk about the opportunity to build some life skills that you've got. And then we're going to talk about today's message. We'll do some shout outs, announce our Amazon gift card winner, and then you can go and get on with your weeks. So, okay, the first thing we're going to talk about then is your online working platform, Seneca. So first thing is to say well done to all those people who are really making the most of this great opportunity and cracking on with all the work that's there. You've had people who are completing 100% of this, 100% of the work, and also doing it in a really, really thorough and detailed way. So that's fantastic. Just a few kind of points. We are now into week 3, and it's really, really important that you guys kind of get back into a habit of regular learning. So your online activity is being tracked. We're able to see when you're online, when you're offline, and we're also able to see how much you're actually doing. Okay, so just logging on is not going to fool us into thinking you're spending all day working hard. We can see what percentage of the work you're actually completing. So I appreciate that people are having technical difficulties, that there are some problems. So this week, your teachers will be chasing you up with phone calls to offer some help and try and see if we can iron out any of the kinks that might be preventing you from working. So you should expect a phone call in the next couple of days if you've not been able to do as much as you need to. This next slide is specifically for Year 11 students. We need you to complete a short questionnaire, which is linked on the screen here, which is all about your destination data. So this is just a really simple 21 question questionnaire, which will record where you're planning on going to college next year and how far you've got along with your application process. It's super important that you all complete this so that we can carry on helping you and supporting you in your applications to college next year, because obviously you're still very much a part of our school and part of our family, and we need to make sure that you get to the right places. So yeah, click on the link. It won't take you any more than 5 minutes. I need every single person to complete this, and it must be done by next Monday, the 11th of May. So just a quick reminder about some of the ways that you can get in contact if you need any help or any support, whether that's questions about your work, whether that's technical issues that you're having, or whether it's just something you're a bit concerned about or worried about or need to talk to someone about. So you can email the school for general inquiries at info@arkbolton.org. Feel free to contact your teachers directly. We're all at home, we're all working, we're all on computers, so we will respond to your emails. You can find all of our emails in the address book. And finally, the other way you can contact us, of course, is through the Sharp system, which you access through the website. So if there's anything at all that you need, or just want to share something with us, please use those different ways of getting in contact. Just a reminder, if you can please include your full name, your year group and your tutor group in the subject heading. It makes it a lot easier for us to get in contact with the right people and get you the help you need. So as Mr. Hetherington told you last week, the Envision group at our school have been doing a lot of fundraising work for a charity called Fair Share, who help provide food for people who don't have access to it, particularly during this difficult time. Just a little bit of an update about how they're getting on. Sir told you about the fact that they'd had to switch their fundraising online, and I'm really pleased to announce that they've already hit their target. There are £150 has been donated already. If you'd like to donate something, or your family would like to donate something, it's a fantastic cause. It's really, really important, and it's helping people in our communities as well. So if you click again on the link on the left-hand side where those three little boxes are, that will take you straight to the Just Giving page where you can donate if you are able to. But that's absolutely fantastic news. So really, really well done to everyone who's involved with that, and keep it up. I just wanted to add my thoughts to what Sir told you last week about the BBC Young Reporter programme. So quite a few weeks ago now, probably last time I was stood in front of all of you, we were talking about the Bolton newspaper and the aspiration that we had to have kind of a student journalist workforce. And that still is very, very much the plan. And probably next year now, realistically, that will be happening. So this BBC Young Reporter thing is an absolutely fantastic opportunity for you to get some experience, get some skills that you can then bring back. And that will put you in a really, really strong position to take on a leadership role within that Bolton newspaper. So please, if that's something you're interested in doing, and I know there were lots of you who were interested in getting involved, have a look at this, see what you can do and get involved. The other thing I'd say is it's a genuinely amazing thing to be kind of part of history. Any history students will know that contemporary sources are incredibly important to studying big historical events, and the COVID-19 outbreak is a massive historical event. So this is an opportunity for you to literally go down in history as a first-hand source, telling people about what it was like to live through this strange time. Worth taking advantage of. So one of the few advantages of this COVID-19 outbreak is that probably for the first time in a while, a lot of us have got more time than we kind of normally do. And it's actually good opportunities for us to spend some time thinking about developing our life skills. And I wanted to draw your attention to a resource that is available for you to help you do that. So there's a resource called Barclays Life Skills, which is a program that's designed to help to develop your kind of core transferable skills. You can see some of them up on the board there. These are all skills that are really important to you as an upper school, thinking about applying for colleges, thinking about applying for jobs, university, apprenticeships, all of those things. This program really, really will help you to identify your strengths, your areas for development, and then give you ways of helping to work on them. So I thoroughly advise you follow the link, click on Life Skills, and it will take you across to that website where there are, as it says, over 65 hours of resources, videos, and quickfire activities and stuff that you can use to boost your life skills during this outbreak. I particularly recommend the Wheel of Strengths, which I had a go at earlier. It's quite an interesting one. It's just a good introduction for people who are still not quite sure what they want to do with their kind of college, with their lives, with jobs. And you kind of enter in some really simple information about what you're good at, what you like. And it just kind of helps you to narrow down a little bit kind of where you might want to head. So some good tools on there, well worth having a look at. Today's message is all about VE Day. So I don't know how many of you noticed, but last Friday was actually a bank holiday. It didn't seem to affect very many of us that much. But it was also quite an unusual bank holiday because normally the May bank holiday would have been on the Monday. But last year, the government decided to move it to the Friday the 8th so that we could celebrate as a nation VE Day, or Victory in Europe Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and potentially about how that kind of applies to our own lives. So just over 80 years ago, the Second World War broke out in Europe. It was an absolutely colossal conflict. It was bloody, it was destructive, and it completely devastated whole nations. But on the 8th of May, 1945, so 75 years ago, at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, our then Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, came onto the radio and announced to the British nation that war in Europe was finally over. Now, you've got to understand what this meant. It meant the end to nearly 6 years of war, which had cost the lives of millions of people and completely destroyed families, homes, and cities. So understandably, millions of people rejoiced at the news that Germany had surrendered, relieved that the intense strain of war was finally over. In towns and cities across the world, people marked the victory with street parties, dancing and singing. And if you look at the pictures here, you can see some examples of that. So in the top left-hand corner, we've got a picture of Trafalgar Square with thousands of people, it looks like, crammed together, cheering, waving Union Jack flags. Next to that, we've got a picture of a street party which took place in Birmingham 75 years ago to celebrate VE Day, at the end of the war. And underneath, we've got people gathering to cheer and celebrate with members of the armed forces. So it was a real day of joy and celebration when that war was over. But obviously, the end of the war didn't restore all the damage that had happened. People had still lost loved ones. People had still lost their houses. Countries were in massive decline. So although the war was over, there was still a huge amount of work to be done. To an extent, I think we have to remember that when we're thinking about what's happening currently with COVID. At the moment, we're all very much in the middle of it, and we're all doing what we can and what we need to do in order to kind of get by and do the best that we can. But even when this is over, and we will feel like celebrating, and we will feel like going out and dancing in the streets, but we have to remember that this is having a huge toll on lots of people. People are losing their families. People are losing their jobs. So it's really important that we are positive and that we are forward-looking, but also that we remember that even when this crisis is over, that will not be the end of the ramifications of it. In terms of thinking about our virtues, though, I think whenever I think about kind of VE Day, the things that come into my head are the virtues of courage and gratitude. How brave those people must have been to face that war, to face bombing raids every single night in major cities, and to face sending their brothers and their sons off to go and fight in war. So the courage it took to survive through that awful period was immense and quite inspirational, I think. And then also, once the war was over, the incredible gratitude that people felt for the fact that they'd survived, that we had won, that we'd persevered and made it through. And when things have been difficult and things have been tough, it can be easy to kind of get a bit miserable and a bit down about it. So I think it's really, really important. It's a great message for us all to remember to count our blessings, even when it doesn't always feel like we've got that many. And finally, just before we go then, some shout outs. So your teachers have been very, very busily tracking your work and seeing how much you're getting done and how well you're doing. So shout outs this week go to the following people. So from Modern Foreign Languages, we've got Amil Rahman and Aisha Begum. Very well done. Excellent completion rate and really, really thorough work as well. The Humanities Department have nominated Lishba Lalia and Zishan Hussein, again for completing all the work, but also doing it to a really high standard. Same reason really from English for Hansa Bibi. Excellent work. Lots of it getting done, but also being done really carefully and really thoroughly. So well done to you. Music, Samir, also for putting in so much effort. It's really, really obvious from the work that you're doing that you're doing well in lockdown, and you're not going to fall behind. So well done you. And then finally from Maths, Shemaima Begum and Maria Ali, for exactly the same reasons, like brilliant work, great work rate, and really kind of taking the independent part of this really seriously. So well done to everyone who was nominated for a shout out. And then finally our gift card winner. So the £10 Amazon gift card, I think it's £10, it might be 15 now, I'm not sure, goes to Safwan Ahmed for 100% work completion with 93% accuracy. That's really, really impressive. You're getting all of your work done and you're doing it accurately. So fantastic. Okay, year 11. So thank you very much. Have an excellent week. Feel free to get in contact if you need to, and obviously look out for those phone calls from your teachers. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next week.